Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Our video blog this week, we're meeting with three local businesses on our 3BIA zones. So in Vanier and Byron Market, on Rideau Street. These are locally owned businesses. We've covered through the COVID period how businesses in our community have pivoted, have struggled, have also gotten our support, mainly around food distribution, food retail, restaurants. Now we're turning a bit and wanting to share with you three other sectors. So fitness, music, and clothing. We want to know how they've been coping, how they've pivoted, what they're doing, how we can support them. These are locally owned businesses on our main streets. Let's support them. Good morning, Stu.
Good morning, Matthew. Thanks for having us here. My name's Stu Mescal. I'm the co-owner of Movement Union. We're located in Vanier, just off of Montreal Road. We are a physiotherapy, massage therapy, and fitness facility. It's your one-stop shop for wellness and movement. And I'm happy to be here with you today. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well, Mathieu. I'm Dan from Steve's Music Store. I'm the general manager there. We've been in Ottawa for just about 40 years. We supply instruments, recording gear to the local musician community, professionals and hobbyists alike.
Thanks for joining us so early.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And we also have Michel. Good morning, Michel.
Salut, monsieur, ça va bien?
Ça va très bien. Tell us about who you're representing this morning and what your role is.
Okay, my name is Michel Antoine. I'm representing this morning L'Hexagone. It's a menswear on the market. Etienne has been there for something like close to 10 years, I believe. But before that, Etienne used to work for Bleu en Ville. That was a foundation here on the market for so many years. Therefore, so he asked me this morning to represent him to talk about his clothing store.
A strong collaboration with your hand skills and fashion as well.
Yes, I'm just across the street from him, and we work together. We try to help each other. I've been on the market for 27 years, in the same at the same location on St. Patrick. I do ladies wear, I do corporate wears, and I do events also. Like I did the Francophonie game, I did the Quebec games, I did OC Transpo, many other organizations.
You're wearing dual hats for businesses here on the market this morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's go back to March 17th, which was the first Saturday after this first lockdown. I want to know, we're 10 months later, but I want to know where your mind was at on March 17th and for your organization.
Absolutely. I remember that day very well. We actually closed on March 16th. It was the Friday, a very quiet, somber day here in Ottawa where you could just feel what was coming. And I knew I would have to lock my doors and send my staff home. So I wrote an email to my team and told them we'd be locking the doors on Friday and hopefully we'd be back in a few weeks' time. So it was a very challenging week mentally, after having put your heart and soul into your business and looking forward to a bright future. With this sudden closure that came along and without any warning was something that was very difficult to deal with as a father and as a business owner.
Yeah, it was kind of an odd spring because I was kind of thinking, okay, well, obviously I'll probably have to go and check in on the shop every couple of days or so, just make sure, guitars aren't drying out, that kind of stuff. Fortunately for us, we do have an online sales platform that kind of exploded. Not to say that it made up for us not being able to have people in, but it definitely gave us a little bit of oxygen. So I ended up just prepping online orders direct from the Ottawa store for a couple of months until reopening.
I had mixed feeling at the beginning. Honestly, I said, oh, cool, we're gonna have 2 weeks vacation. I really thought that it would last for about 2 weeks or some days only, honestly. And so I didn't think much of it at the beginning, except that I had a break, which I was in need of at that time. So, but I mean, now the break came, as a good recuperation of my of my energy. But in terms of fashion, not to say that the other ones don't have the same problem. We all have different problem in different businesses, but I mean, we have trends and seasons. So, I mean, we had the spring collection at the store at that time where it was going nowhere.
Right.
And nobody was buying anything. Like suits right now, Etienne has a nice selection of suits. But I mean, people wear jogging pants. So suits don't go out. And now, I mean, as we went further and further and further, you had the, and then of course the reopening and everything. But I mean, the reopening at the end of May in a fashion trend is quite late because it's all sales and stuff like this. So your stock that you got that you didn't sell, you had to put it on sale right away. So the margin of profit is not there to keep the stores alive.
I forgot to introduce a team member that there's an additional person on your screen, and that's my colleague, Chad Albert, who is usually behind the camera. So you see my video blogs, and because we're doing a bit of a different format, a roundtable with folks, I thought Charles will join. He's a good interviewee, he asks good questions. Charles, what are your thoughts so far?
So yeah, guys, it sounds like all of you were affected at the beginning of the pandemic. Not too sure what to expect. You know, Dan, you were saying music events, fashion as well changed. I'm sure Stuart, physiotherapy and massage took a hit as well. How did you guys pivot? Were there any services or ways that I know at Steve's Music you mentioned online retail? Michel, did L'Hexagon offer any online retail? Stuart, did you have any online programming?
Yeah. So the first thing I thought of when it came time to focus on the next steps was my group classes. I thought to myself, how can I approach the biggest number of people? We have a lot of customers, a lot of clients that come in and use our gym facilities. We knew physiotherapy was a no-go. We couldn't be with our patients one-on-one. Same with massage therapy. They were stuck. You can't offer virtual massage therapy. It just doesn't work. Right. So the great thing, or what we focused on, was our group classes. So I opened a Facebook page because Movement Union opened in January 2020. So we opened 3 months before the pandemic struck. We were literally, the paint was drying in here when the pandemic struck. So we didn't even have a Facebook page yet. So on the Monday of the following week, I opened up a Facebook page, and I had an idea to start running some online classes for our community. I ran to Best Buy, which was still open at the time, and bought myself a tripod and a ring light. And I invited all of my regular members to join me on the next Saturday morning to take a fitness class. And I had no idea. I got many emails back from a lot of our clients that didn't even know how to open a Facebook account. So I got on the phone call with those people and helped them step by step open up their Facebook pages. And lo and behold, on the first morning, we had 77 people join in on a class. Now, I offered the classes for free to the community. All they had to do was join our Facebook page and click live. And that got the ball rolling. Soon we had over 200 people showing up for our classes, and we now have over 2,500 followers on our Facebook page, and we've had over 250,000 clicks on our Facebook page joining our classes, which we now run 8 times a week and for free for our community. And it's just been an amazing way to keep everybody together. What we hear from the clients that take the classes is that it's brought a great sense of community. It's helped people feel together. We'll have mothers and daughters signing in on the classes at the same time, and they chat with one another in the class. And not only that, but we've expanded our customer base. Now we have customers in Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Calgary, Victoria. We have a huge group of followers in Hamilton. So we've really been able to absolutely. But you know what? The beautiful part of it all was, it's a pass the hat model. So the participants can pay what they want if they want. And if you're not able to pay, you can still join the class. I've kept it up there for free and have committed to doing so until everybody's vaccinated.
I mean, in a certain place in fashion, it's very hard to buy online. I find that you can buy a pair of socks, okay? But pants and suit and stuff like this, it's a little bit more complicated to buy online. You have to try it, you have to fit it. And so it's very hard. I mean, he does some sales with the online, but honestly, it's not what's going to make him survive the pandemic. Right. Okay. The government help was quite a lot for him. I mean, it was good. He was able to survive the time that he was open. he was able to survive. He was not able to hire anybody else. He had to be there 7 days a week. Long hours. I mean, that's what business owners has to do. I mean, the other two guys with us here this morning, they work hard too in the business, and we put a lot of hours to make our business survive. And we had to be very creative in a way to turn around and say, okay, what are we going to do?
Yeah, well, I'd say definitely the online sales, when we realized it was going to be a lot more important in term for the business during lockdown. Well, we noticed it was definitely stuff that we've always carried, but that weren't necessarily the biggest part of our business. And a little bit like Michel said, for musicians, for a lot of musicians, like let's say a guitar or a drum set, they want to try it. They want to put it in their hands and see how it feels as a player. So what we saw was a lot more keyboards, and people getting back to that because, well, confinement projects, I think we all had something like that.
He has his finger up, so maybe he bought a keyboard.
I bought a keyboard for my daughter from you during quarantine. Yeah.
What I noticed too is that I guess everybody and their dog started a podcast also. And there's, at the end of the day, you know, gear for podcasts are essentially the same thing as gear for a recording studio. So there were a lot of sort of like cross-platform things that we could actually offer. And we kind of gravitated towards that and went a little heavy, let alone the supply issue that we still have in a lot of cases.
Shipping and getting the product.
Yeah, it being a global pandemic, obviously it didn't just affect us locally on the retail side, but definitely on the supply side. Everything is still playing catch up right now. And I mean, I'm sure it's going to be like that for another while. So that was an interesting challenge, was actually just getting stuff in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Shal, from what you're hearing, what's top of mind? What would you like to know from Dan, Stuart, and Michelle? What's come to mind when you're listening to us?
I mean, it sounds like we have some great answers to the questions that were posed. I mean, where we've been, where we're heading. You know, one thing that comes to mind is beyond the online is are there specific ways in which, you know, community leaders or even community members themselves can support local businesses? Is it by sharing posts online? If you guys have a social media presence?
Great question. For us, for sure, helping to get the word out about our online class offerings is fantastic for us, for exposure for us. One of the great things our online classes has helped me do is explain it word by word in person on camera to our viewers what we do here. It's very hard to get the message across how our physiotherapy is offered, how our massage therapy is offered. So I can talk to my audience and sell Movement Union and let them know what we're really all about here in Vanier. So not only that, but we're also offering something to the community, which is mental health and exercise. So the more, the merrier that's on our line. My classroom is unlimited. I can have as many people as I want in my classroom now. So everybody can come in and join my classes. And if they don't know that these free classes exist, they won't come. So sharing Movement Union, sharing the fact that we offer free classes for the community at the click of a button, no registration, no sign-ins, no paywalls, no credit card necessary. Click the button, pay if you want. That would be great.
And
if they don't want to, if they don't want to pay, they can come on in and join. I have 3 levels of classes easy, medium, and hard. There's something for everybody on there. And so there's no excuse for our community not to come in and get moving and get active. I've got the best workout on the internet right here that's coming from Vanier.
Dan, what about that Steve's Music? What's the best way to support right now?
I'd say it's just keep going the buy local goodwill going, and maybe staying conscious that the Amazons and box stores of this world have kind of branded themselves as we have by far the best prices, which by my experience is not true. I know I'm in a very, very competitive marketplace, and I find myself beating Amazon prices off on my sticker prices very, very often, or if at the very least we're at the same price.
Well, Dan,
Um,
it's good to hear you say that, and I think it's important. Often people hide behind the, oh, I'll buy online. There's convenience, or it's more affordable. I share the other way. I want to buy a good quality product that supports the local economy, and what you're giving us is saying, hey, not only that, but I'm competitive in that environment.
Well, yeah, and there's also just the after sales support. In my field, yeah, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with a drum set, with a guitar, with a DJ controller, and we take care of all of that as opposed to having to ship it back to some warehouse where nobody knows what's wrong with it. We can, in a lot of cases, we can actually, with me and the staff, can just figure out, oh, well, here's your problem. Here, we'll fix it like in a minute.
Beyond the product, right? Beyond the product, there's a service side, there's a personal side to the purchase.
Yeah. We're a family-owned business, and we've built our business over the years by having those relationships with people and making sure that the little things that go with having an instrument, we take care of that.
I love your stories. I could talk for hours, Michel. How can we help Hexagon? How can we help you, Michel Antoine? I know you're specialized. You have but is there something we could do? Is it a like on a page? Is it a sharing of your previous work?
Well, like Hexagon or Hi, I mean, we do have web page, and we have the web. Well, mine is under construction, guys, but it's coming soon. By February, it's going to be out. As for the social media, I mean, Instagram and Facebook, both of us are on it. If you want to share, if you want to like, that's excellent. That is one way. But the most important part in all of that is probably for not the three of us, but I mean for everyone, that the after, please, let's try not to shop online. Okay, there will be an afterwards where people are used right now to shop online. They'll need to go out again and to the brick and mortar and support the local economy.
Thank you all for joining this morning. I really appreciate it. Again, Stuart from Movement Union here in Vanier. We have Dan from Steve's Music on Rideau Street. We have Michel Antoine from Hexagon in the Byron Market. As you can see, when you have local residents who are business owners, they're really the lifeblood of our economy. They're the fabric of a community. Main streets are so important to the fabric, to the feeling, to the pride that we have in a community. We get to know the owners, we get to know the products and services, and ultimately we support them. So an important reminder here to come and continue to support, especially if you have a bit of dollars. Our businesses need your help throughout these challenging times. Our video blog next week, I want to tease you a bit. We're meeting with paramedics. We want to know how our paramedics are doing. They've too have had to cope since March with very, very challenging situations. And most recently, they've begun inoculation of our senior population. So they're all fronts. We'll find out more next week.